Hello, welcome back, boys and girls. Today, the book we're going to be reading is called How Big Were the Dinosaurs by Bernard Most. It's hard to imagine how big some of the dinosaurs really were. Some dinosaur footprints that have been found are so big. You and a couple of friends could stand in one of them. Just how big were the dinosaurs? Tyrannosaurus rex was so big, some of its teeth were as big as your toothbrush, more than 7 inches long. I wonder how many tubes of toothpaste it would take to brush this monster's teeth. Triceratops was so big, its head was bigger than your front door. Even though this plant eater was one of the most peaceful dinosaurs, I don't think your mother would want it inside of your house. Stantogosaurus was so big it was about 50 ducks long. It was one of the biggest duck-billed dinosaurs ever found. I bet it could make the loudest quack ever. Stegosaurus was so big, the plates on his back were larger than a school crossing sign. With all those protective plates, Stegosaurus would be a perfect crossing guard. What do you think? Dinochirus was one of the so big its arms and hands together were 9 feet long. Since that was all scientists ever found of this dinosaur, I wonder how much bigger the rest of it was. Wouldn't it be nice to have an extra pair of helping hands that size around your house? Hypsilosaurus was so big, its eggs were the size of a hen. Even though this barn sized plant eater was smaller than many other dinosaurs, its eggs were the biggest dinosaur eggs ever found. Do you think eggs that big would fit in the egg basket? Do you? Supersaurus was so big, it was larger than a supermarket owl. I bet this gigantic plant eater would have no trouble finding the vegetable section. How about calling this dinosaur Supermarket Saurus? And Kylosaurus was so big, it was bigger than a school bus. This sturdy plant eater was covered with armor and weighed more than 5 tons. Wouldn't you feel safe going to school on this enormous dinosaur bus? Allosaurus was so big, it was bigger than a bulldozer. This meat eater's jaws were hinged, so it was able to swallow large chunks of meat. Whenever I see the powerful jaws of an earth eating machine, I think of Allosaurus. Apatosaurus was so big, at 1 month old, it was bigger than a baby's crib. I bet it wasn't easy to babysit a 6 foot long, 75-pound baby Apatosaurus. Parasol Parasaurolophus was so big, the hollow tube at the top of its head was bigger than a trombone. Some scientists think it blew air through its tube to make horn like sounds. I wonder how it would have sounded in a school concert. All right, the Diplodocus was so big it was about as long as a basketball court. One of the biggest dinosaurs ever found. It could have been nicknamed Scratch Lizard. I bet Scratch would have been able to slam dunk its head and tail at the same time. And this was the size of a court. All right, a baryonyx was so big, its thumb claws were as big as its foot. Its nickname was Heavy Claw. Do you think this very large dinosaur would like to thumb, though, as the dinosaur book? All right, do you think this very large dinosaur would like to thumb through this dinosaur book? And they have that particular book in that dinosaur's thumb. All right. Mammothrosaurus was so big, its neck was larger or longer than a school flagpole. No other dinosaur or any animal that ever lived had a longer neck. I think this is a dinosaur worth saluting. Torvosaurus was so big, its toes were bigger than a man's shoe. Scientists named this large meat eater savage lizard because of the giant claws on its hands and feet. I bet you thought only grown ups had big feet. Brachiosaurus was so big it was taller than a giraffe, the tallest animal living today. A giraffe might need help from an elephant and a hippopotamus to reach as high as a Brachiosaurus. Omiosaurus was so big it was larger than a bowling alley lane. Scientists think it might have had a bowling club as a tip of its tail. It sure would be fun to go bowling with this dinosaur. Skrrr! Pteranodontosaurus was so big its fingernails were almost as big as you are. Not much else is known about this big fingered dinosaur. I wonder how long it would take to polish these huge toe fingernails. Ultrasaurus was so big its shoulder blade was longer than a park bench. If just one Ultrasaurus bone was this big, imagine how huge the whole dinosaur must have been. Seismosaurus was so big it was almost twice as big as the weight and weighed almost twice as much as Apatosaurus, better known as thunder lizard. The name Seismosaurus means earth shattered lizard. or earth shaker lizard. And this one is actually so long, I actually had to fold the page. See that. I bet you used to think the thunder lizard was big. Maybe one day someone will discover a dinosaur so big it will make Earth shaker lizard look tiny. Alright, the end. And here at the end, they just have the different types of dinosaurs and their actual sizes of the dinosaurs. Alright, and that is the end of this particular book. I hope you have enjoyed this book today as much as I have. I actually learned something new, and I hope that you did as well. Until next time, see you guys then. Bye-bye.